Hey guys!
Alright guys, we're here today to check out a Patreon request from this patron right here. Asked to check out Bewitcher. The name of the song is Too Fast for the Flames. I hope I'm not opening mouth and inserting foot, but I believe they have a new album coming out this year. So there should be a new record being released with Century Media by Bewitcher. So this is a good way for me to kind of get introduced to the band because I haven't heard anything from the band. And most likely I'm going to get the album for review. And I like to know at least a little bit of what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah.
So this is a good way to get our feet wet, if you will. Now, are you ready for this?
I am ready, and I'm guessing that the song is going to be fast because Too Fast for the Flame.
If this song, if it's a doom metal track, and
I
this
want my
song,
money back.
and this song doesn't move, talk about blue balls and talk about fake news. Like, I mean,
So I'm pretty excited.
you can't call your song Too Fast for the Flames and then be like
A doom
slow
metal
as
track.
molasses.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't work. So my only expectation for this track,
Is that's going to be fast.
it's going to move fast,
Which,
which I'm already digging it.
yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to Highway to Hell, the evils of heavy metal. Since the dawn of distorted guitars, Satan has been attempting to corrupt our youth through the metallic noise of heavy metal. And there is no more evil or vile form than speed metal. Speed metal is the bastard child of heavy metal, spreading its message of rock and roll rebellion and free will through the sound of fast licks, pounding drums, and demonic lyrics. Speed metal is the embodiment of Satan's plan. Take, for example, our next video by self-described satanic speed metal band Bewitcher, whose very motto is heavy metal at the speed of Satan.
Wow. Love the porn stash. definitely fast.
Yeah.
I almost feel like the whole intro to the video was actually longer than the video itself.
Yeah. By the way, when it started, I thought that was like the song starting, but no, it was the intro for that guy with the beautiful porn stash.
That dude, he's in the Mount Olympus of porn stashes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's glorious. It's starting to go into a handlebar
It's
mustache.
turning into a Lemmy.
It is. Which is a handlebar mustache. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not there yet,
It will get there
but
soon.
it's getting there. It's perhaps getting there shortly, because I mean, if he continues to listen to this kind of music, I almost feel like the mustache will grow even faster.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think of Bewitcher, Too Fast for the Flames?
I was gonna say the look of this video. I thought we took this was a Throwback Thursday.
No, I don't think this video is that old. The song is actually, I think, is fairly recent.
Obviously, but I'm
But
saying
it has that old school
These guys
look.
did a good job of making it look very old school.
Yeah, with the tracking on the VCR and everything, with all
Yeah.
the static and stuff, and then Porn Stash shows up and talks about how demonic speed metal is and all
and
that
even the
stuff.
video had like the lines like it was on a CRT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had the whole VCR thing trying to like track it, like
Yeah,
when
no, but I'm
the
talking about
images-
it because it looks like someone recorded from their television,
Oh, you're talking about like
A
the
CRT
the
TV.
what do you call it? The
box TVs.
Yeah, but the resolution.
Yeah.
Like when you record something on a TV with something else, like with a camera or something,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can see all those lines passing by.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, but that gives the whole old school vibe to it. You know?
I really liked it. I really did, and it went really well with the sound. And the sound, these guys found a way to make their sound dated like back then. If this was a Throwback Thursday, I would believe it.
I agree with you, but having said that, it's not necessarily I don't think you're considering that as a bad thing, right?
No, I'm not considering it as a bad thing because I'm talking about the sound. The overall of the actual song, it sounds like if you kind of cleaned it up, it would sound very recent.
This style, this
Yeah.
approach, like speed metal, specifically speed metal that has a little bit of a blackened vibe into it. There's another band that I really dig that very similar to these guys called Stalker. They're from New Zealand, Down Under.
Yeah.
So they have very similar. 3 dudes as well. There's 3 dudes. Very similar vibe. And for this specific sound, you have to have that throwback feel
Sound.
to it.
Yeah.
You have to have that old
I
style
don't think you
production value. You cannot put this together and sound completely crisp, crystal clear. No, it's
You need something that
you need that rawness
Yeah.
to it. Yeah, you need that rock and roll, that pure edgy sound.
That's what makes it the genre.
If you had this recorded like with all the bells and whistles that you have today with modern technology, I'm not saying it's not recorded with, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
all cleaned up and everything. Then it's not this anymore. Then
Yeah,
it's like
then it's something completely different.
it's completely different,
But
and it
you need-
loses all its
you need the
appeal.
you need the rawness of it sounding.
The sound
old
has to be
school.
raw. It has to be old school. It has to be grimy. It has to have that speed. That the vocals have to come like from almost deep into the mix, like pushing themselves
Yeah.
out to have that extra darkness, extra satanic flavor to it, if you will. All of those elements have to be present there in order for the sound to work. In order for the music to be what it is. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, it's something completely different. So when I look at a band, or I look at how the album sounds, or how their music sounds, the genre and the style in which they're playing also dictates on how I want it to sound. Like when I think of bands like Stalker, Midnight, to use an example that you know, these guys, it has to have this approach. If this is super cleaned up, then it's not this anymore.
It's not this anymore. It's
something completely different.
Yeah.
So I don't mind for one thing is, for example, a thrash metal band that has an old school sound. That to me is a little bit different because you don't have to have an old school sound.
To
You
be
could
thrash metal.
exactly. You could have an old school sound, but produced in a more modern way. So it has a little bit of a foot in the past and a foot in the present.
Yeah.
That I like.
But this one you have to go full force.
This one you have to go pure vintage.
Yeah.
You have to. The sound, the approach.
on the record player.
I was just gonna say that next. Bands like this, bands that have this sound, this style, this approach, this look. I mean, when you look at these guys, they don't just play it. They look it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you have bands like this, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're listening to it on MP3 or Spotify or whatever it is. You have to listen to it on vinyl. This on vinyl?
Well, the cracks and
all the little pops of the vinyl, the needle finding its place when you first put it in, and you have to. Bands like these guys, like bands that have this sound, you have to. It changes your perception, your enjoyment of the tracks completely change. Because even though the sound has that old school vibe, that old school bravado, that rock, that grittiness and all of that, when you're listening to it on Spotify or with a new platform like MP3s or whatever, it's still there. The sound is still raw, but it has a little bit of a more modern feel to how you're digesting it. Do you see what I'm saying? But when you listen to it on vinyl,
you're getting the full experience.
100%. It's almost like you're traveling back in time.
It's the way it was meant to be heard.
I couldn't have said it better. A band like this, you have to listen to it on vinyl to really get like the. Honestly, this style, this sound, during last year, is grown on me like a fungus. It's spread through me like the Rona.
Like Rona.
You know what I mean? Like it's just. I think the first band that I started listening to it that had this kind of style approach, I think was Hell Ripper. I think was the first band we did on the channel that had this approach. Then from Hell Ripper, I think the next one was Midnight. Then for me, I moved on to Stalker. Now Bewitcher. Like I just I'm forgetting another band that actually the one that I think started it all was Cloak.
Yeah.
I think Cloak was the one that started it all. But Cloak is not really speed.
Speed
Cloak
metal.
has
They're
more
black and rock and
black and rock and roll. Yeah. Cloak is not necessarily speed metal, but there's some fragrances.
It's what started you to get more into the blackened stuff.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then you can go into different avenues with it, right? But Cloak, I think, is the one that really introduced me to it. Then, like I said, Midnight, Hell Ripper, all these other bands, Stalker. I just love that old school rock and roll. And then when you add a little bit of black metal into the mix, in this case, you add speed metal as well. I honestly, I love this shit. Like, it just makes me want to go out for a drive, the window down. And I was gonna say hair blowing, but I don't have fucking hair. So just the head outside of the car, just driving. You know what I mean?
Your beard blowing.
My beard blowing, glorious, and just listening to this. It just, I don't have a bike. I think on a bike, then it just proves it pushes the glory even to a higher level. But I just love this shit. It's so raw. It's so grimy, so gritty, so dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes you want to spit on the floor. And maybe spill some beer while you're at it, or drink and then have it spilled on my glorious beard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just filthy.
Yeah.
I love it. Bewitcher. So I'm now really excited about the upcoming album. Now I'm really gonna dive into this with a smile from ear to ear. Hopefully the album delivers all the goods. I'm sure it will, but I'm excited now to check this out. This hits all the spots as far as I'm concerned. All right, this is it. You have anything else you want to add, or you're good?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
All right, we're both set. We're satisfied.
Both satisfied. Yeah.
Yeah. We were both entertained.
I was entertained. Yeah.
All right, we're both entertained. On that note, guys, come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you. See you guys.
See ya.